our Honorable Chief Guest and Keynote Speaker, author, former International Civil Servant and UN Peacekeeper, Dr. Shashi Tharoor, Honorable Member of Parliament, to the valedictory function, Avenir 2020.
I am Vishwanath Praveen, Assistant Head Boy of Indian School Muscat. It's an honor to have our prominent keynote speaker, popular for his unique English words, former Under Secretary General of the United Nations, recipient of Pravasi Bharatiya Samman, India's highest honor for overseas Indians, and renowned author. Our chief guest, Dr. Shashi Tharoor, Honorable Member of Parliament. We welcome and thank you, sir, for gracing this valedictory function of Avenir 2020.
I, Ishtika Singh, the Assistant Head Girl of Indian School Muscat, would like to take this opportunity to express my profound gratitude to our Chief Guest, Dr. Shashi Tharoor, renowned Member of Parliament and former United Nations Envoy, for gracing our valedictory function of Avenir 2020 with his invaluable presence. Thank you for being with us. A warm welcome to you, sir.
ready. You can start. I'll start.
On the occasion of the 50th National Day of Oman, may I extend heartfelt greetings to His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq and the loving people of Oman. Passion, in conjunction with career, paves the way for a scintillating future. And Avenir 2020 is here to translate dreams into reality. Indian School Muscat, under the aegis of the Board of Directors, Indian Schools in the Sultanate of Oman, is privileged to host Avenir 2020. It is a comprehensive project designed to enhance the knowledge of available career paths, how to pursue them, and make informed decisions and take tangible next steps. It aims to empower the belief that we can tap our innate strengths and aptitudes to become agents in our own development. Distinguished guest speaker for this session, Dr. Smitha Nair. Ladies, gentlemen, and friends, a very good evening, one and all. I am Ishtika Singh of 11E from Indian School Muscat, your host for this session. A gentle reminder to everyone on this platform to fill in the feedback form that will be posted towards the close of this session. This evening, we have amidst us a much acclaimed academician and a seasoned professional. Ma'am heads the Center of Postgraduate Studies in Middle East College, Sultanate of Oman, recipient of research grants from the Research Council of Oman. She handles funded projects in collaboration with national and international institutions. I deem it my privilege and pleasure to welcome our guest speaker for this session, Dr. Smitha Nair.
She believes that the race for excellence has no finishing line. An acclaimed academician and a seasoned professional, Dr. Smitha Nair heads the Center of Postgraduate Studies at Middle East College, Sultanate of Oman, an erudite with a PhD in computer science and post-graduation in academic practices, a fervent researcher with manifold research interests, recipient of research grants, a resourceful speaker, a quintessence of versatility. A warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Project Kalathil of 12B for the brilliant video, and Sarah Fatima Syed of 11F for the magnificent voiceover. Ma'am, your presence speaks volumes about your desire to inspire the budding youth and amplify their belief in their abilities. It is indeed a great honor to have you with us this evening. Once again, a warm welcome, ma'am. This evening's webinar is on the topic, Techniques in Big Data Management. The floor is all yours, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this introduction and the lovely video that has been created by the students. It's always nice to speak to students, especially the students at the school level. It's nice to see a big audience for the big data session today. So I will start my presentation by sharing my screen. I would like to thank the organizers of Avenir 2020 for giving me this opportunity. So I understand that there are students who are attending today's session are those who have no idea of what big data is, basically because it's a new technology, a recent technology that has been developed. There are a few, I believe, have got some knowledge, and maybe after the presentation or in the midst of the presentation, If you feel that the big data is something for you, then you can sit along and relax and see what are the various job opportunities available in this area. I hope my screen is visible. Can you
Yes,
please
ma'am.
confirm? Okay, all right. Thank you so much. So I welcome you all, and I would like to take you for a tour to explore with me if big data has got, or it has got to provide big career opportunities. So as I already mentioned, I would be taking you to from the starting of what big data is, what are the various applications of big data that can be looked upon, and the various career opportunities. All right, so let's start with what big data is. Now, suppose if I show you the picture of a cat and an elephant, no doubt you would say that elephant is big. But if I send you a picture or an image of a cat and that of an elephant, say over a WhatsApp, and probably the answer would be of cats if the image quality is very good, and you would say that it's just because of the size of this image and not of that object as you see. So big data is the digital data that we are dealing with, that you are dealing with, that you're storing it in your laptops or in the mobile phones. And these are the two appliances that you are always been working with. So that's why I mentioned those two. Now let me take you to know more about what big data is. I'm sure all of you are now very familiar with WhatsApp, even a very small kid, because of this current pandemic. The class teacher is always connected to the students over the WhatsApp. So you see the kinds of data that is being sent across in your WhatsApp account. Teachers are sending the worksheets, the audios, the text messages, or even the videos of music teachers, arts, and so on. So what you see is a variety of data that is coming from your teacher from one account, right? Yes, and you know that if you are using your mom's WhatsApp account, there are lots of accounts over there, and she has been receiving lots of messages, right? So if I have an image of say of 50 MB size, it's a big size, okay? And it's not possible for me to send it across to you over the WhatsApp or even an email. So in this context, I can always say that I'm dealing with big data. Okay, I've got a big data. And it also sometimes happens that the WhatsApp gets hanged and I'm not able to send or receive any messages. So in which case, what I would do, I have to delete all those videos I have received from my friends. So I would be doing that. So the reason here is why the WhatsApp is getting hanged is just because the memory size is not sufficient to hold all those huge amount of data. So in this context, I can always say that I'm also dealing with the big data. And it's not just the WhatsApp, the social media platform that I'm using. I've got an account in Facebook, I've got account in Twitter, Instagram, and so on. So how do you know that data is big data? There are some characteristics by which you can see that a data is a big data. So these are the major characteristics. So if you have a voluminous of data, an enormous amount of data that you're dealing with, you can call it as a big data. And when that volume of data has got variety or different types of data, you call it veracity, then also you call it as a big data. And the speed at which the data is being received, if it is very high, if I don't check my WhatsApp account for a day or two, so much of messages are going to be there. So it's totally a big data. So just to give you a more idea on what big data is, this is a statistics that has been released almost a year back, that how many data is being created on one day. So Twitter says that 500 million tweets are being generated, 65 billion messages are being sent across over the WhatsApp, 294 billion emails are being exchanged. There are lots of searches being done in Google, and in one day, 5 billion and 4 petabytes of data. Petadata is very high. Okay, so you know about kilobytes, megabytes, then gigabytes, GB. Now terabytes are also possible. Even in a laptop, it's petabytes. It's even much more than that. Okay, so you might have got an idea as to how much of data is being generated when we consider each one of these platforms or the companies as such. So, what is the growth of big data? So, as per the International Data Corporation, it says that the growth of big data is really exponential. You see, exabyte is something beyond petabyte. So, in 2005, it was just 130 exabytes, and it is expecting 40,000 exabytes by the end of 2020, which is really huge. So at this point in time, I would like you to look at one key aspect, that big data is something which will be continued to grow. Okay, all right. Now let's see how this big data has evolved. There is no doubt the main reason is the internet technology that has come into picture. Now, on top of this internet technology, currently we are living in the fourth industrial revolution, where we have got lots of disruptive technologies with lots of innovations happening in the current era. And I would say that it is the big data which forms the basis for many of these disruptive technology to do some kind of innovations. So let me take one example. IoT, Internet of Things, is one of the disruptive technologies of fourth industrial revolution. And right now we talk about everything being smart. So with Internet of Things, with the internet technology, everything is connected. We are all connected with each other. So it's not just the connection over the WhatsApp I'm talking about, but something beyond that. Say for instance, I have got a smartwatch. So if I use a smartwatch which measures my heart rate, and let's imagine a situation that I'm driving, okay, and my heartbeat is being measured, and all of a sudden there is a variation in the heartbeat. So if my smartwatch is connected to my husband's say mobile phone, then he gets an alert that something is going to happen. And if it is connected to my family doctor, I would get necessary advice at that point in time. So it's kind of saving my life from a fatal situation. So that's the way we are going to get connected in the fourth industrial revolution. And we cannot leave out this particular disruptive technology when we talk about the fourth industrial revolution, which is nothing but the artificial intelligence. And we see lots of automations happening in the current scenario. Self-driving car or the autonomous car is one such. It has not been very popular in the world, but still there are some small cities which have been which are using self-driving cars and have been found to be successful. But at this point in time, I would like to say that if there was no big data available, we cannot expect the self-driving car to work perfectly. Let me tell you an instance. Suppose there is a self-driving car that's moving. Okay, and from the right hand side there is another vehicle coming. Towards the left there is a person walking, and somebody is crossing the road. So what is the decision that the autonomous car should take at that point in time? So you can imagine the kind of inputs or the kind of combinations of the data that needs to be put into the self-driving car to make a fast and an appropriate decision, right? Yeah. So there is a huge data that is playing behind that would drive the self-driving car. Let me tell you another example. At my home, um, sometimes my 8-year-old son, he comes to me and asks, Amma, what is the meaning of this word? So I do tell him, like, why don't you ask Siri to get an answer for your question? And I see him, chatting with Siri, and the conversation is so interesting that sometimes he says, "You're super cool. You're doing so well. You know everything." Okay, and he comes and tells me that Siri is intelligent, but sometimes it acts weird. It doesn't understand. Okay. Now, as far as Apple is concerned, the Apple company is concerned, the word said by my son is a valuable asset, because for Siri to perform well, it needs to be inputted with huge amount of data. So what are those kinds of data? The spoken language in different accent. So it has already been trained with several accents, but this is a new data that's coming in. So when update is being done, then it has got something new. So it's a valuable asset as far as the company is concerned. Okay. All right. So this is just to give you an awareness that big data forms the basis of several disruptive technologies that you will see in the fourth industrial revolution era. All right, now let's see how companies are really using the big data. I already talked about the Apple. I'll give you some more examples as to know the relevance of this big data and how it is being used by several types of companies. Okay, so let me take Facebook now. See, every year I would get a video being created by the Facebook on my birthday or during my anniversary day. Okay, and it has collected all the pictures that I have posted or posted by somebody else where I had been tagged. Okay, and it creates a picture, I mean a video with a nostalgic music. Okay, and I really liked it. I do like it always. So what is the point in creating such a video? It even tells, like, this is the picture for which you got the maximum likes and comments. Oh, that's also cool. I didn't know that. Uh, so Facebook is trying to create, or enhance the user experience. So Facebook feels that I should be an active user, or I should be continuing as a user of Facebook. What could be the reason? What's the business behind it? When I browse the Facebook, I see advertisements. Okay, so if I had liked one advertisement, say of jewelry, I may purchase it today or maybe sometime later, or I may even tell my colleagues that there are good designs which you can also explore and all that. So that is why, as a user, that's what I would be doing it. And if there is any discount, I get to know from my FB page or Facebook page. Actually, the advertisers are giving money to the Facebook. So in a way, there is a business that's happening. So it's important for Facebook for me to continue as a user of Facebook. All right. So let me take you to another industry, say airline industry. So this is a news that has come up some time back, that big data is cleared for the the takeoff. I'm sure some of you might have heard that either your father or your relatives who had booked a ticket in economic class got upgraded to business class. Oh, how is that possible? Um, it's not that everybody is getting this upgradation, but only for a few. That means some kind of analysis of the customer behavior, of how often he travels, and so on, is considered, and then they are trying to find out the potential customers. So it's only to those potential customers that this kind of upgradation is being offered. So customer satisfaction is very important as far as an airline industry is concerned. Okay. And also they would be doing some analysis kind of what is the peak time of travelers traveling from Muscat to Mumbai. Okay, so they would be having some data already available, maybe from 2010 till now, and they can do an analysis of what is the peak time. Oh, is it during the summer time? Then should we have more flights during that time? So that kind of decisions can also be taken based on the data they have got it. Again, it's a big data from 2010 to 2020 itself is a huge data that they have got. And irrespective of any company you take, um, any let it be any nature of business, the executives would like to see a dashboard for the data that they would like to look at. For instance, if they would like to see the revenue of the company at the end of the year, how is it in comparison to the previous years, what is the customer satisfaction or the employee satisfaction. So all of them, this is something very, very popular nowadays. Every organizations are would like to see our dashboards, okay, to make some decisions, to make appropriate decisions. All right, I'll take you one more. I'll give you one more example. Not one more. I've got a few more, I guess. Um, this is my Amazon page. I'm sure when you open your Amazon page, it's not going to be the same at all. So it's customized for me. Now, see, this is a textbook that I wanted to purchase, and I wanted to know the details of it. What is the price of this textbook and all that. So when I had searched for this book, what I could see is that the Amazon is giving me another option like these are frequently being bought together. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so whoever has purchased this, they have purchased even these two. So I have a tendency to browse these two books and see if it is relevant for me, if it is useful for me. And you see the total price, there is a reduction in the total price also. That interests me. And not only that, it tells me that customers who have viewed this item, this book, has also viewed this. Believe me, I have purchased this book. Not only this book, I've purchased this book with the chameleon out here, and I realized that I have to read this chameleon book first before getting into this book. Okay, so if I was not getting a recommendation of this kind, I wouldn't have known about this book. Okay, and it wouldn't have been a business for Amazon as well. So how are they able to do it? It's just because of the big data they have got it, and the kind of analysis that they could do it, and then customized for me the details of this kind. Okay, all right. Now, see, a World Health Organization would be interested in getting a report of this kind. So, what is the daily reported cases and the death of COVID-19 on each day at different places? You see, Africa, America, Europe, etc., etc. Okay, so this is a kind of dashboard WHO would be interested to look at in order to have necessary directives to a particular country or so. Okay, all right. This is yet another very interesting use of big data, and I would say that without big data, this kind of application is not possible at all. Okay, um, how many of you have heard of this personalized medicine? Let me tell you, when you get fever, what is the medicine that you take? It's a Panadol. And if the fever is so intense, then maybe you would take a joint Panadol. So that's a general medicine and it's applicable for all. So, and I have no idea if it's because I have taken this joint Panadol, my fever has gone, or it could probably be I had throat infection and I had taken the medicine for that and it went off. Maybe the case, I have no idea. But what personalized medicine means is that based on the genetic makeup of your body, there is going to be Panadol A, Panadol B, Panadol C, and so on. Okay, and this genetic makeup is nothing but the genes and the proteins that you have learned, that you are learning in your subject like biology. And the size of the big data over there is really huge. And you know, this was discovered only in the beginning of 2000, once the Human Genome Project was completed. So this is a new is a future of medicine, we can call it. So you see an explosion of big data that's happening with the genome sequences, and that's something important for a personalized medicine kind of application to be in place. I'll just quickly show you an architecture or a technology that is being used by one of the companies called Numedi. It is a biopharma company started in 2010 in the US. So they are looking at a computer-aided drug discovery. At the same time, they are also looking at personalized medicine as well. So they are making use of big data. As you see here, there is lots of data, different types of data, voluminous amount of data, and there are different sources from which this data are to be collected. Okay, and they apply this artificial intelligence techniques. So these are some of the artificial intelligence techniques that you can see: machine learning and deep learning. And deep learning is one of the recent artificial intelligence technique which works well only with the big data, as in the case of autonomous vehicle, which I was talking about. Okay, makes use of deep learning algorithms, and it does require lots of data to give accurate results. Okay, all right. Um, so let's see how big data is going to be useful in some other area. Okay. Now, suppose if a student has got a low grade, C plus is not a low grade, but still, okay, that's a picture I have got from Google Images. Okay. So in order to improve their performance, there are personalized learning analytics that has come into picture. I've read about Magic Box as one of the analytics tool that's available, with which the students can get personalized learning experience and then perform well. So it's not just confined to an individual, but there are many data-driven approaches being adopted in the field of education, even while developing the curriculum. So they are looking at the learning patterns of the students, how they perform in their assessments. So based on all these, there are many approaches being undertaken, or applications are coming up in such a way that it contributes to the curriculum, thereby in various other fields of education as well. Now let me show you one more. See, this is an analytics which I get monthly because I'm using a Microsoft product. And it's telling me that the available time that I got to focus is 65% only. All right, okay. So based on the analytics which I receive, I can see whether I have to spend more time in something else rather than just sending emails or receiving emails and all that. Okay, all right. So finally, let me say that big data is for something for better outcomes. Okay. Okay, so it's I've touched upon a few applications at the moment, but you should be knowing that almost every sector, okay, whether it's e-commerce or manufacturing or in the field of banking, especially when fraudulent transactions are to be detected, big data technology is very important because to understand the patterns by which this fraudulent transactions happen. So I said about healthcare, then transport, finance, lots of areas or sectors. Okay, so this is a wide scope of sectors that you can find where big data is going to play a major role. So again, one more key point that I would like to give you here is every sector will have big data, or every business will have big data, okay, in the current scenario. And that there is nothing great in saying that, oh, I'm doing business and I have got a big data. There is no point in saying that unless you draw some insights out of this big data. Okay, so every sector needs big data to be analyzed, or in other words, processed in order to find some useful insights. It may be for to make some strategic decisions, or it may be a recommender system that you have seen with Amazon, okay, and so on. So let me give you an analogy of this big data again. You know that crude oil is something naturally occurring, right? And if you would like to get some useful products like petrol or diesel, there should be a refinement process to be undertaken. And this refining, it's not an easy process. It's really a complex process, right? So big data is something like a crude oil. If you have big data, it is of no use. That big data should be converted to some meaningful insights. So just like how I said about the refining, there are lots of steps involved in processing the data. If we cannot expect the data that can be directly processed. So data collecting itself from different sources is one tedious job. Okay, so after you collect the data, you need to clean up. Okay, so we call it as data cleaning. Then you need to store the data somewhere. Okay, and you need to know how it can be organized so that you can so that you can extract meaningful information out of it. Okay, so it's a big process that you have to undertake. Okay, so who will do this? So there should be some jobs related to all these processes to be undertaken, right? So just try to find out the various big data job titles that we can find in LinkedIn. Okay, so I just typed big data and I could see big data scientist, big data engineer, big data developer, architect, etc., etc. I've put up only a few. Okay, big data analyst is one such. And I was curious also to know, like, how many positions are currently available for a big data analyst in the US. And I could find that there are around 14,850. Okay, and also I tried in India and I could find around 6,754 results. Okay, so there is a huge demand, and I could find that there are some posts that have been posted or jobs that have been posted a month ago, but the applicants are only very few. That means there are opportunities that shows to some extent that there are opportunities, but not many skilled workers available. All right, so I've also tried this big data scientist. Okay, in the US, I could see 7,400 results, and in India, it's like 2,885. So just with the big data title, okay, not combining this analyst or architect or engineer or scientist, I could see that approximately there are 33,000 jobs available with the keyword big data in the US, and around 12,000 in India. Okay, but this cannot be the correct value. The reason being that I came to know from my colleague who's working in the field of data science in the US. What she says is some of the companies or organizations in the US have realized that the data scientist title should not be called as, they should not be called as data analyst, not scientist, not data analyst, but they should be called as business intelligence analyst. Okay, so they have renamed, some of the organizations have renamed the title, so all those would not be coming into picture in this case. So okay, so it's much more than this. That's the point I wanted to stress upon. All right, so what are the big data job trends that you can find? So IBM says that the jobs in data is around 2.7 million into 2020 in comparison to the jobs in what type of engineering. I've just blanked it, didn't want to show it as such, but this is just a comparison that the IBM makes. So by now you might have got how much of demand is there for the jobs related to big data. And also LinkedIn and dice.com has reported that the number of jobs requiring the data skills is increasing by about 30% a year. It's a huge jump that you can find, which you cannot find it in an engineering job. Again, one more key point for you to note that there is increased job opportunities for the big data professionals. Let me put all the key points together, which I have put up earlier. That big data, with this fourth industrial revolution, is continue to grow. It will continue to grow, and that every business definitely will have big data. So there is no point in having the big data. They are to be analyzed or they are to be processed for getting some meaningful information out of it. As a result of which, there is an increased job opportunities coming up for the big data professionals. Okay, so I tried to pick up some points as to who will be appropriate for the big data analyst job, and who will be or whether you can opt for a big data analyst job or a big data scientist job. This is at the entry level I'm talking about. Okay, so if you would like to apply for the job, when you apply for big data analyst, they do not ask for a specific discipline degree. Okay, so any degree, any bachelor's degree is fine. And I have seen that there are companies which are not even looking for the degree. But if you are proficient enough in the skills required to be a big data analyst, that's sufficient. But let's not worry about that. Let's take it in this manner. Okay, any degree is fine. But knowledge of statistics is something important. And big data analyst would be the people who would be using several tools and techniques. They are the ones going to play around with the data that they have got. They are the people who can give a good data visualization so that some decisions can be taken by the executives. Okay, so the example which I would quote here is the dashboard or the WHO report which I had shown you earlier. Okay, Whether it be a big data analyst or big data scientist, I would say that programming and technical skills with respect to big data is something important. But that is something which you can acquire it. So even if you have a degree in economics, you can always be an economic data analyst. That's possible. Okay, provided you acquire these skills. Now, as far as big data scientist is concerned, at an entry level, definitely they would look for a discipline-specific degree like computer science or mathematics or statistics. The reason behind that is you should be having a strong background on mathematics and statistics for becoming a big data scientist, because you would be working mostly with the machine learning algorithms. When you talk about machine learning algorithms, it's all the mathematics which is coming into picture. So when I say mathematics, it would be like the vector which you have learned, the linear algebra that you are learning. If you're dealing with the images as the data, then the knowledge on matrices or matrix operations are important. And when you go deep into machine learning algorithm, you will know that why there is a partial differentiation being done in your grade 11 and 12. You're learning lots of differentiations. So where is it actually going to be applicable? Now you will see that there are programming languages like Python, which have come up with many libraries. Okay, they have already coded all these mathematical equations. But when you are being hired as a big data scientist, they are not expecting you to just take out the library and just use it. No, they want you to explore further so that you can model the data and the algorithm in such a way that you get an enhanced output rather than just using the inbuilt packages available. Okay. All right. So in that case, a strong programming and technical skills are really required for becoming a big data scientist. So one of the examples which I would like to quote here is the Amazon recommender system, which I had already shown. And you would also find that after a person who has worked as a big data analyst for 1 or 2 years, there is a chance that they can get transformed to a big data scientist. Possibilities are there, because big data scientist is somebody who has to be a big data analyst. You should be good at big data analysis, at the same time something beyond that as well. So it's something that you can gain in the due course. Okay. All right. So basically, I would say that to work in the field of big data, you should be having some knowledge on mathematics, and computer science is very, very important. When I say computer science, there are various fields of computer science coming into picture. See, computer architecture is something very important to be learned. You might have learned about central processing unit, right? So it is a what do you call it? It's the heart of the computer system, or the brain of the computer system, you call it. And now we have reached a situation where we have got the graphical processing unit, where parallel processing is happening. It's all related to the computing. And now, very recently, DPU has come into picture. What's DPU? Data processing. The big data explosion has resulted in technological advancements happening at the hardware side also. So computer architecture knowledge is required. Database technologies to some extent is very much required. Artificial intelligence or the machine learning is something to be known. Okay, and then comes the domain knowledge, something it's desirable kind of. See, for instance, if I'm working in say the Numedi company which I was talking about, which is looking at personalized medicine. So if I have the domain knowledge of the medical data, it's well and good. Or else I wouldn't be knowing what this data is. After all, I'm dealing with the data. But if I have no idea as to what these genome sequences are, there is no point in doing it. But again, it's something which can be acquired. That's from my personal experience, I can say that. Okay. All right. I'll give you some stories out here now. Uh, Everybody Googles, right? You when you want to know about something. I just Googled this 2 days back. So, what is big data technology? Is something what I asked for. Can you see this? This is what you will find first. Oh, big data brings and all that, and then it gives lots of other details. So, around uh, I don't know how to count it. So much of results have been obtained here, right? Okay. Actually, this is a work of a data scientist at Google. Okay, so I have seen an interview of this person, and he says that this is his job at Google Search, he says, and he's basically a bachelor in electrical engineering, did his master's in machine learning. And what he says is maybe after 1 month, when I search for the same keyword with the same keyword, I may not be getting the same results. Why? Because see, if this seems to be relevant to me, what would I do? I would be clicking onto this, right? So that my click is being captured there. Okay, and if many of them, if a significant number is not clicking onto this, then he understands that this is not of a great value to most of the users of Google search. Okay, all right. So that kind of updates actually happens everywhere. Here in this case, it's Google search. And I have also come across an MBBS doctor who has turned out to be a data scientist, and he's currently working with Converge Health by Deloitte. So he's basically a doctor, but he's so much interested in technology. He took his master's in medical science and technology, and currently he's working as a healthcare data scientist. So anybody can be a data analyst. That's what I have told you. But you see, there are examples of MBBS doctors turning out to be a successful healthcare data scientist. Okay, so this is yet another interesting one which I could find. That here is a guy who finished his bachelor's in electronics engineering. So while studying itself, he was much interested into data science. So he took some online courses on data science. So he's a fresher applying for the jobs in data science. But unfortunately, almost 20 plus job interviews he failed. But then he started writing blogs in data science, okay, from whatever he has read and all that. And he also started thinking about these questions. Why am I getting rejected for the data science job? And he was also trying to find out like what's the probability that I can get through a job in data science. And he did a project on it, okay. So he did an analysis on why my jobs are getting rejected, and he posted that in LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is a place where recruiters do, catch hold of people with good talents or skills and experiences and all that. And he says that he passed 4 job interviews. And after he had this blogging, he got some free. He was doing some freelancing as well for small companies, small data science projects and all that. Okay. All right. So now those who have got some entrepreneurial mind, if you're if you really want to be an entrepreneur and would like to choose the field of big data science, there are opportunities in India. Okay, if anybody would like to finish your graduation and then pursue with your startup companies, we've got national strategy for artificial intelligence that has been recently designed, and there are lots of focus areas that you can find. And it Accenture says that AI has the potential to add around approximately 1 trillion to India's economy in 2035. So looking at the focus areas of AI, An AI application cannot exist without the big data. So there are lots of opportunities for you. Now comes to what are the courses that you can take up. So it's always preferred that if you really want to be a data scientist, you can always choose bachelor's in computer engineering with major in data science. But unfortunately, there are not many institutions that are offering specialization in at the bachelor's level. Of course, in India, you will find lots of institutions, very reputed institutions, which offers courses in big data analytics and data science. But finding an engineering course with a specialization or with a major in data science is not much, but you will definitely find a few in countries like US. Okay, all right. So it's not that everybody can move to the US for their bachelor's study. So the best option at the moment I would suggest is bachelor's in computer science and engineering, because you would definitely get an idea of what data is, what's the computer architecture is, and now you know about the cloud architecture or the cloud environment. People are talking about storing their data in the cloud. So cloud computing is something very important. So all those, even artificial intelligence, will be covered. The basic mathematics required for the artificial intelligence is definitely covered in bachelor's of computer science and engineering that even I myself have undergone long years back. Okay, so that is a good option that you can always opt. But one thing to be noted is that you choose the organizations where their curriculum is current. So if you find a computer science and engineering curriculum without cloud computing, without artificial intelligence, there is no point in getting graduated, okay, with such a degree. All right. So that's with the engineering. Now, if you look at bachelor's in computer science with specialization in data science, there are reputed institutions which some of you might have already heard of. They are actually part of this Avenir 2020 as well, offering some big data courses, online courses. So, since it is a reputed institution, something which can be opted for. Okay, and also you can find bachelor in computer science specialization in data analytics. Even in Oman, you can explore and then find out there are colleges which opt this one. Okay, all right. Now, there are some tips for you to be successful in this. Because once you finish your computer science and engineering, this is the one I'm advising at the moment for those who plan to go back to India and take up engineering course. You can go for any electronics or of your choice. That's perfectly fine. But if you would like to go for computer science and engineering and you feel that, yes, I want to work only in big data science field or in the artificial intelligence field, no other field that I would be opting for, if that is the case, then it's important that you do some projects, okay, during or alongside your engineering. It's important that you do some projects on data science. But you would be wondering, some of you might be, how is that possible? It's possible. There are students who are doing it. And for you, Kaggle is one such website you can look at. It's a data science community with lots of tools and resources being available. Okay, and there are competitions being held. You can join. There are many real world machine learning problems that are available. You can join in any one of them. Data is available to you. With the tools and resources that are available with Kaggle, you can try out many things that is new. Okay, and one thing I would like to point here is, if you are doing your bachelor's in computer engineering with major in data science in countries like US, then you would be able to get real-time projects, because they would be having some tie-ups with IBM or similar fortune companies, and you would be getting the opportunity to do the real-time projects, which may not be possible all the time. all the time, but there are institutions which have got industry academia partnerships in India. But if at all you are put in an institution where there is not much of collaboration, this is one option you can always think of. Make a group, those who are interested in this data science, do projects, participate in competitions. Hackathons is yet another competition that you can find, Google it and find out all this. GitHub is yet another repository. After you do the project, you can put your project out there. And when you prepare your CV, you
Ma'am,
can always say this. Yes, I'm just
ma'am,
finishing. This is the last. Yeah.
sorry
Okay.
for the
So
interruption. You may
one more.
continue.
Yeah. This is one YouTube channel that I have come across called the Springboard. If you are interested to hear the success stories of data scientists, you would get to see a lot. Those who are working in Google, many other Fortune companies that you would find. It's a good choice for you to look over there. Now the it's open for you. It's looking at what big data is and how big data is going to revolutionize the kind of opportunities that you are going to get. You can now decide whether a career in big data is something going to be a right choice for you or not. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for motivating us with your words of wisdom. Your brimming confidence will definitely act as a catalyst for positive change. We are now going to come to the end of this session. It is rightly said that days are not lost when memories are created, and this day will never be lost. A gentle reminder to the audience to fill in the feedback form that is available in the description box. Every beginning has an end. But before we draw the curtains, I deem it my honor to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of Indian School Muscat. A very good evening to one and all who have joined us on this platform. Let me first express my profound gratitude to His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq for his magnanimous benevolence showered on the Indian diaspora in the Sultanate of Oman. May the Almighty shower abundant blessings on His Majesty. We extend our heartfelt thanks to our eminent speaker for today, Dr. Smitha Nair, whose illuminating ideas and distinct vision most certainly ignited the young minds and empowered them to gain much more clarity about their future prospects. Thank you, ma'am. I extend my deepest sense of appreciation and gratitude to Dr. Baby Sam Samuel, Chairman and members on the Board of Directors, Indian Schools in the Sultanate of Oman, Mr. Ajay Kumar Pillai, President, and other members of the Indian School Muscat Management Committee. My profound thanks to our principal, Dr. Rajiv Kumar Chauhan, our pillar of strength and a great source of inspiration. My sincere thanks to all the presidents, members of all Indian school management committees in the Sultanate of Oman, principals, vice principals, assistant vice principals, supervisors, coordinators, heads of departments, and teachers. Your gracious presence made this session all the more gratifying. We are also deeply grateful to our parents and students for their virtual presence, active participation, and support. Thank you, sirs and ma'ams. My heartfelt gratitude to the Indian School Muscat team for making Avenir 2020 happen. Thank you, one and all, for the success of this session, and thank you for joining us this evening. Ishnika here, signing off for now. We'll meet soon and stay